those worms will hatch out, those eggs will hatch out into little worms, and they of course will grow. These worms eat about 50% of their body weight every day, and because of that they excrete a very large amount.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
They're surface feeders. They don't burrow into the soil. They like to stay up near the top level of the surface, and if you can provide them with lunch, which consists of in our system, chopped hay, alfalfa, and red clover, which is their favorite meal.
Mm-hmm.
They dine on that and grow and grow and grow. So it's an exponential growth rate. They really increase very, very fast. The biomass by the end of the second year would be more than 20 times what it was when you started out. So it's a really fast-growing concept. The use of this material gives us the ability to add some other stuff. We have up in Wayne County, which is close to where I live, a deposit of peat, which is currently being mined by several producers. One of them happens to be Scott's of Marysville. They have a large factory up there, and they produce this bag, 3 cubic foot bag of peat that sells for about $8 or $9, I guess, in the stores.
Is this some kind of fertilizer? Or?
Well, it's a soil substitute. It's a growing medium that a lot of greenhouses use to put inside the hanging baskets and pots, and then they transplant their flowers into
like
that.
Yeah, I've seen something like
So
that.
it works very nicely.
Not to cut you, I'm sorry.
Sure.
But I've seen something also, I don't know whether it's the same thing, but this thing, it seems like they grow in a pot, but it seems like you can grow tomatoes in it.
Oh yes, well we have that.
'Cause I've seen something like that.
Yes.
And I was wondering how.
Well, we add a lot of things to our vermicastings. We add that peat moss. We add Canadian sphagnum moss in Nigeria and in West Africa. We'll recommend using coir, which is shredded coconut hulls, and that makes an excellent medium because it absorbs water. It enables the mixture to stay moist, and it also contains an enzyme that gives a very powerful kickstart to the plants. In addition to that, we put in a material called Jersey green sand, which adds a little phosphate to our material. We use leaf compost. The leaf compost is added because it gives a little more bulk to our material and makes a very natural organic part of the mixture.
So you've used this, is it something that you've done like a study or research that you've used?
Yes, I've been
West
working
Africa?
I've been working on this on my own for the past 10 years.
Okay.
When we first did our Cascade Gardens, we found that we had to add a lot of fertilizer when we used the normal growing medium. And so what we found was that it's much better to make our own. And we've had it tested. We find it's well balanced. We use a couple of other ingredients called kelp, K-E-L-P. It's a seaweed that's harvested off the coast of Nova Scotia out of the North Atlantic. It's raked in and put on the beach and dries out. So there's no unnatural drying processes, no energy other than solar energy to do this. In addition to that, we use a product we get from Winesburg, Ohio. A dairy farmer there a few years back, probably 10 years ago, decided that he was destroying his farm by pumping liquid cattle manure onto his fields without any thought of the nutrient uptake requirements of his crops. It was just a way to dispose of manure. His yields dropped down about 20%, and he finally figured out that I've got to stop using that liquid manure in that way. And so he then started composting the manure, and what he finds now is that he makes more money out of the cow manure than he does out of the milk.
No, what's the acronym?
Oh, okay. The acronym MICRIS. We're not Greek. I'm from a Scandinavian family, and my oldest grandson is named Mike, so we put the Mike in there, and my youngest grandson